Good evening, everybody. David Paul with you in the KHOU 11 Weather Center on what is a stormy Thursday evening in many neighborhoods across Houston and southeast Texas. Rain, thunder, lightning, some high water spots out there. This is going to linger for another hour or two before it settles down, but rain chances won't go away overnight. We still have a chance for a thunder shower in some spots overnight, and then tomorrow we're going to do it all over again. Good chance for rain and thunder. Now, this is the tropical update at 8 o'clock. We're going to go into detail on the tropics right away, but first I just wanted to show you what's going on locally. And I see a new flood advisory has just been issued. They just popped the flood advisory. That means we've got high water spots in and around the Houston area. Let me turn the lightning off so you can see the outline of that just a little bit better. And no surprise, green line right in here, all the way down to Needville. We've had heavy rain and thunder showers going on here for hour and a half. It's beginning to let up now in spots, but still some pockets of heavy rain. So expect many high water spots, ponding and puddling, but you're out at night and you drive through one of those heavy puddles and it can do damage to your car or worse. From downtown, out Memorial Drive through Memorial Park, all the way to the Beltway. Memorial, heavy rain and thunder right now. And then to Sugar Land, moderate rain. But everybody out the West Park Tollway, out to Cinco Ranch, 99 connector up to Katy, I-10, heavy rain causing lots of street ponding and minor street flooding in a lot of neighborhoods. That extends down to Richmond, out Old Highway 90, all the way out to East Bernard, where the rain's been heavy enough to cause a lot of high water spots. So at night, high water spots on the road, stay put if you can. It's nasty out there right now. So that's where we stand with our flood advisory. A little closer view. Bel Air West had reports of a high water rescue and a high water spot there earlier this evening. Bel Air closer to downtown. You're in that flood advisory, so there may be some high water spots on your neighborhood roads as well. You can see out I-10 to Addicts, all the way out to Katy, heavy rain, thunder. There's Cinco Ranch at 99. That's a mess traffic-wise right now. And still pockets of heavy rain in here. It's very, very little motion to the rain and thunder right now. And further to the south, these showers have been heavy, but finally letting up. Matagorda County, that's not quite so bad, but still getting heavy rain and lightning. And again, there's your flood advisory. Highway 36 here. There's Richmond Roseburg. Here goes 5969. So from Beasley to Needville and then down to New Gulf, there's Hungerford and Wharton. Just getting heavy rain and thunder out there. Be super careful. Through 10 o'clock, flood advisory. It means there are high water spots in low-lying areas, and the ditches near some of the rural roads are going to fill up with water. You get this heavy rain, it fills up, it goes down, but if you get involved in one of those in the wrong way, it can cause you to have a bad night. So that's what we've got going on out there. Enough rain to cause lots of high water spots across the area. Let's take a look at future track on this. So future track, and this has been interesting if you watch this at 4, 5, and 6. Even going into 9 o'clock tonight, so an hour from now, models are still showing pockets of heavy rain, but most of it letting up, and it is showing a weakening trend. So over the next hour, I expect what's out there to continue to weaken. I point that way because I'm looking out the window here at Westheimer at Chimney Rock, and we've got rain and lightning out there. So that will settle down as we head through the next hour or so, and then overnight tonight, see that little boundary coming in? That may or may not kick off a couple of showers overnight. This is 6 a.m. There could be showers near the coast in the morning. So your morning commute in spots, it could be heavy. Remember, we're on the air, TV side 5 to 7, then plus 7 to 9 every morning with Cheetah and Jen, weather and traffic. And then at 10 a.m., still a chance for an isolated shower, but I want you to watch what happens toward noon. So we're getting to our convective temperature at noon. That's about 90, 91. At that point, these thunder showers begin to blossom, the towering cumulus clouds. If you're out at lunchtime, you've seen them. You'll see them tomorrow, and then it just erupts into widespread rain and thunder. That's 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That is 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. Pockets of heavy rain and thunder, much like we saw this afternoon and are seeing right now. Okay, now to the tropics. And at first glance, it just looks like there's storms all over the place. There are not. There's only one. It's that one. That's Erin. That's the one we've been watching all week. That's the one that was Cat 5 last week. It's now heading away from the continental United States, heading that way, out to sea. So we're done with it, basically. They've still got some high surf on the East Coast, but the storm itself is heading away. The rest of it are all just tropical waves. They haven't formed yet, and they may not. This one, the Hurricane Center says, has a 70% chance for forming. If it does, it's going to move almost due north from here toward Bermuda, staying off the United States coast. This is a new spot, 30% chance for that one. That's in literally the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, so we're not worried about that at all. This one, a 40% chance. This one shows a little more organization, but it's still 3,000 miles away from us, and modeling down the road the next couple of days tears it apart. So at the moment, nothing out in the open Atlantic new, and then nothing in the Caribbean and the Gulf. And that is the best news. That's what we watch like a hawk. And we'll get up and do it again tomorrow. Things can change in 24 hours this time of the year in the heart of hurricane season. But for now, modeling suggests that doesn't happen. This is Erin, winds of 100 miles an hour this evening. They've dropped the tropical storm warnings for the East Coast. And off Erin goes into the cooler North Atlantic. And eventually Erin ends up as one heck of a wind and rainmaker for Great Britain. Those are the British Isles right there. There's France and Portugal right there. There's the storm. Never did open a second eye yesterday or today. It's now being sheared apart. You can see the upper level winds throwing the cloud tops off to the north and east. That's what's carrying it away from the mainland United States. And there's a beautiful view of a Cat 2 hurricane exiting the northeast coast. You can also see the higher, colder cloud tops on the thunderstorms we've got across the South Gulf states tonight. We're part of that. Zooming out. Okay, Erin. That's that little spot they put on the map today, 30%, literally in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We're gonna put that on the back burner. We're going to call this one that we've been tracking number 1, and this one is number 2. So wave number 1 and wave number 2. Those are really the only two other spots of interest out here right now. Notice nothing like that in the Caribbean or the Gulf. So what I've done is I put on the surface wind forecast. These are surface winds. Tropical systems are surface-based systems. So we'll see rotation at the surface before we'll see it anywhere else if something tropical new is going to form. This is where we stand right now. And just to set your bearings, you know, that's the circulation around Hurricane Erin. You can see how clearly it shows up. That is a tropical wave. That's wave number 1. You can see how it is a wave. The winds come up, over and around and down, but they don't close off a low. It's an open wave with the potential for development. That's number 1. And then look at number 2. So it's got a very broad closed low, but when you get a closed low like that, that's so broad that really, it's not organized enough to call it a tropical depression, but it's trying to close off a low out there. That's the one that looks a little better organized. But as I put this in motion, what I want you to watch is Erin, you'll see the circulation go on off to the north and east. Watch how this one, the circulation doesn't tighten up and get organized. Watch, let's put it in motion. It elongates and just becomes a drawn out surface trough. Nothing to see there. It doesn't develop. This is our tropical wave right here, wave number 1. We'll call this what's left of wave number 2, really getting sheared apart. So this one with the 80% chance for development is going to try to move north toward Bermuda, but does it develop? You know, we'll watch it going forward in time. Monday, Tuesday, you know, maybe we get something closing off here, but it misses the U.S. as it skirts by Newfoundland. And then the rest of the Atlantic, look at this. Everything just cruising along. No lows, no significant waves. Look at the flow across the Caribbean, just nothing closing off a low. Everything just moving streamlined east to west. Gulf of Mexico, nothing showing up there tropical. So that's through Tuesday. But there is something else that is so interesting on this map. I want to zoom into Texas and show you. This is next Tuesday. So look at the surface winds. Next Tuesday, August 26th. What do you see? Look at this convergent zone. Look at how they come together. You've got a northeast flow here, got a southeast flow here, bumping together at the surface. So what is that? That is a cold front. It's going to be a surface cold front, come all the way down. This one is interesting. This is significant. This one is an unusually strong cold front for August. This is going to drop temperatures across the central portion of the country, lows into the 60s and 50s in August. We're talking about Birmingham, Alabama, and Atlanta, Georgia, having lows in the 60s and 50s. Talking about Oklahoma City having lows in the 60s and highs only in the 70s and maybe low 80s. Maybe even highs in the 60s in some spots. We're a few days out, and this is an unusual cold air mass for this time of the year, so models are going to struggle, but I'll show you what they're putting out here. I don't think that front comes through Houston with any type of force. At least the modeling is not showing that. It's going to be close, something for us to monitor. But what that boundary would do is keep this daily rain chance going for us into next week, into at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So NOAA is onto this, and they're showing temps next week well below normal, significantly below normal, from all the way from the Four Corners, but really here where this colder air is coming down basically the central and eastern part of the country. So temps well below normal, and notice they do extend into North Texas. Dallas is going to get a cool down. With that boundary right here, that's where the normal temperatures are. Then south of the boundary, temps still above normal. So that front will be the surface dividing line between feels like fall's coming and feels like summer is still here. So what does this exactly mean for temperatures? So this is Sunday. Here comes the cooler air showing up in St. Louis and Indianapolis. These are high temps. So 60s and 70s for Indianapolis and St. Louis 74, Kansas City high of 71, Nashville a high of 80 in August. That's unusually cool, but it gets better than that. So Houston 93 on Sunday, Dallas near 100. I'm going to try to move this just to the right spot here. So let's go into Monday. Here's Monday afternoon. This modeling, giving us a hot Monday, Dallas 102, 99. I'm not going that hot. Those are high temps. Okay, summertime, August, sure, we'll hit the upper 90s. But look at Springfield, Missouri, high of 70. High of 81 in Nashville. Birmingham, Alabama, okay, high of 85. Oklahoma City, though, high of 74, while Dallas is at 102. So that will be the position of the front right there. That's Monday. And let's roll into Tuesday. Yeah, that's Tuesday afternoon. Look at Birmingham, Alabama. Tuesday afternoon, August 26th it will be, with a high of 64. 90 in Pensacola, okay. 93 in New Orleans, but just north of that, Jackson, Mississippi, a high of 77, high of 70 in Memphis. High of 67 in Oklahoma City on an August afternoon. That is unusually cool. But that's what the models are putting out. We'd still be in the 90s on Tuesday. They'd be in the 80s in Dallas, Shreveport, 72. So we will be very jealous of points to the north of us if that front does not come through, and it is not modeled to come through. Here, I'll take it out. Let's go into Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday, it has us highs in the 80s. Maybe that'll be a little bit of an easterly flow, but I think that's more rainfall related than anything else. We got the boundary right in here. We'll have rain and clouds, but maybe we get a little relief, not a whole lot. And then we start to moderate back here into the mid-Ohio Valley. So interesting times coming ahead. As far as Friday, 20% rain chance in the morning, 40% at noon, 60% tomorrow afternoon. Many heavy downpours like we're seeing this afternoon and this evening. And the extended forecast, keep the umbrella very handy. Friday and Saturday, 60% chance for rain and thunderstorms, widespread thunder showers Friday, Saturday. Sunday will back off to a 30%, 30% Monday. And then notice as that boundary, that front comes in, gets close, I'm not biting on cooler temperatures yet, but I am biting on an elevated rain chance, at least for Tuesday and Wednesday, 40 and 60, as that unusually strong cold front for August pushes south. That's where we stand. Next live broadcast is KHOU 11 News at 10 o'clock. And then don't forget, tomorrow morning there could still be some showers. So Jen and Sheeta on TV 5 to 7. on plus 7 to 9. We'll see you at 10 tonight for the next live update.